Here we are for an Altcoin Bible with myself this week, as Sammy's still away on holiday. And I wanted to drop in just to share and help you guys understand how I choose and select which assets to invest in and why I continue to choose outperforming cryptos against Bitcoin and against other key cryptos in the market that I think people are watching and investing in when they probably shouldn't be. So I'll break it down, keep it super simple for you. I think it's best that I do start off with Bitcoin. Now, as you can see on this chart, I do have this box that I've had drawn on here for a long time now. This really is an area that we must get out of and break above before I have any clear confidence in a continuation of an upside direction. Now, with the interest rate and significant inflation numbers coming out this week, I am not being too aggressive because I do not think that is the smart play. What I do expect there is potential to see is maybe something like this just to shake investors out before we get this strong move out for the peak of bull market. So I am still being defensive in the sense that I'm not taking on too much risk. I do have a sizable holding in Solana and Hype. Not too much in Hype at this stage, but I do have quite a strong bid as of the last couple of days, which has been fantastic for me. So I'll share that as one of the cryptos, the golden childs in this session. But really, the three cryptos that I wanted to look at was Bitcoin, one that I think is still going through challenge. And I do want to keep a close eye on it, and I want to share with you what I'm seeing. And then two cryptos that I really like the look of right now that I'm personally holding. So just be mindful not to take on too much risk here. The direction is not clear at this stage. There is the potential. I saw the CIO of BlackRock calling a 0.5 cut, or that's what he thinks the Fed should do. But we're 7 days away now from the cut happening, which is super close. And yeah, quite exciting because I think this is going to be the start of the pivot and the change to the ease of liquidating. So yeah, this is 93% now of a 0.25 cut, which is certainly progress and a movement in the right direction. Currently 4.25 to 4.5, so that'll be 4 to 4.25. So that's kind of what we expect and anticipated. This did start to get larger. I don't want a 0.5 cut. I want steady 0.25 cuts 3 times throughout this year, which I think would be really positive and a gradual transition for the market rather than sending signals that we're in a real difficult time and we must cut on more aggressive terms, even though we just went through the most aggressive interest rate hike regime that we've ever had in history. I don't think we need to run down the other side of the mountain now. I think we can kind of calmly walk down and make a bit more of a graceful journey down the other side of it. So yeah, just don't take on too much risk too soon. The number is that magic 120. When we clear the 120, 114 first, but 120, once we get like a daily and weekly close above there, then we are really starting to rock it. So yeah, positive on that term, but we're not there yet. So yeah, just be very mindful of that. But I do like how we're holding the 21 here, but I want to see us close above that 10 for further direction. So not looking overly positive, but not looking overly negative at this stage. On the weekly, Ethereum does look okay here. It's still holding above the key level, the prior local highs that we've had. So nothing too much of a concern there. When you do go down into the daily, though, I think it is very clear to me that Ethereum broke this upward trend structure and now it's kind of forming and it may be getting support through here, but this is the one that I have reduced my holdings right down, and I'll show you exactly why in a minute. But I'm just not seeing that much strength. Once Ethereum gets back up above here, which is very easy just to come in and set an alert like this, you can customize the message and say ETH breaking up against USDT, but that's not enough in itself. But I've got my alert in there, so I know that the movement and the trend is starting to positively shape up again. You see Ethereum against Bitcoin, it's just been stuck, as you can see the trend line I've got on here very clearly, and it's not been able to reclaim that. Now, momentum looks to be flattening through here, and it may start breaking up again against Bitcoin. But for now, I'm not too bothered. And this isn't the only chart that tells me why I shouldn't be focusing on this right now. Solana's absolutely tearing against Ethereum. Why would I want to own Solana when I can own Ethereum? And the same really goes here for Hype. So Hype is far outperforming Ethereum. So to me, it makes a lot more logical sense that I have my allocation that I did in Ethereum now across Solana and Hype because it's outperforming. So that's really, and that's the logical process that you go, reducing your risk down in underperforming assets into better quality performing assets. And Solana and Hype are those right now. So let's have a look at Solana. Now, Solana, whilst I am very positive with it, and I do think that it's had incredible performance, and I do have a sizable holding in Solana, for me, it's still not clear. It's not clear of this overhead resistance level that we have through here that we've triggered a number of times, and we're sitting on it right now. So to me, the magic number for Solana is really above 220. If we can get a daily close and it clears above then I'll be a lot more positive. Going down to have a look at Sol versus Bitcoin, you can see here that again, there's resistance, 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 all through there, and we're sitting on that level of resistance. So we've broken through some of the lower levels that I had, as you can see. But if I just literally come in and copy that line there and bring it down here, you'll very quickly be able to see that there's a number of key levels of resistance. So whilst I am holding a sizable position in Solana, I'm not going to start selling too aggressively my Bitcoin until that level is taken out, until we get that clear continuation and upward momentum. So Hype, there is a lot of hype around Hype at the minute. And this was the trade that I made the other day when we got this close above there. I said, okay, cool. I'm willing to take the trade. And it was a massive candle that we had and another positive close up there. I'm watching this closely. I didn't just go, okay, Hype's going, so I'm going to buy the Hype. I started to gradually rotate in and I have a nice position in there, but I do have layered bids from stable coins and also from Bitcoin to buy back down to this high and down to the 10. That is what wise investors do. So a two-pronged approach. When you start seeing cryptos break out, you don't just want to go, okay, I'm going to market buy. Because the chances are that sure it might run a little bit longer, but it's probably going to have a pullback into the prior high ranges. So I like to split up partly with I never market buy, I limit buy. So part limit buy and then part layered bids down in here. And you want to have clear allocation levels. How much do you want to be holding, let's say, of Hype? If you want to hold it, it might not be right for everyone, but if you do want to hold it, what's the allocation size that you want? Is it 10%? Is it 15% of your entire portfolio? If the answer is yes, then you need to make sure that when you do buy it, you start to transition in and say, cool, I'm going to buy 5% here. If it breaks that level, I'll bring it up to 7.5%. If it comes back down, then I can build that 7.5% up to 15% potentially through stablecoin and also through Bitcoin buying. So for me, it's very clear that an order down here, 0.00044,215 would make sense down to the 10. And also, I think 21 buy down here. So there's two clear levels that you can enter in, just so you're not potentially buying the top and you've got a sizable position, but it's not too aggressive too soon. So that's the game here, guys. You always want to make comparisons against, should I be holding Ethereum, yes or no? Solana's been the trade. I traded it a while back now. It's been incredible. Should I be holding Hype? Or should I be holding Ethereum? And it's very clear. It doesn't make sense to me right now, even though I think this might be short term, finding a little bit of a top potentially against Ethereum, and maybe Ethereum does get a move. The data is telling me right now that the lower risk opportunities that are better performing are Solana and Hype over Ethereum. So that's it for the Altcoin Bible. Super simple to the point. You can see how you can transition from your lower risk of Bitcoin into these assets at lower buy entry levels. And that is how you're patient, let the market come to you, but you can take on some risk and some exposure with building out your position now. But you want to know how much is your ideal allocation size, how much are you going to allocate now, and how are you going to allocate the rest, either from Bitcoin or stable coins. Have the key levels. This is how you automate your trading and let the market come to you. Thanks for joining the session, and I look forward to having Sammy back in the driver's seat and sharing more insights with you next week. Over and out for now. Take care.